Welcome to Marden Realty's first ever market wrap. And why am I taking so long? Well, there's been so much activity with tax reforms and also the latest interest rate rise, apart from the last three over the last 4 months. But, you know, we're all focusing on the interest rates instead of what actually matters in real estate, and that is capital growth or equity in your property. So this is one factor we're not considering, and here's some results up here. But basically, over the last 12 months in my area on the Mornington Peninsula, houses have gone up on average of a whopping 11%. Units up even more over the last 12 months on average over 16%. And even in the last quarter, even though it's been zero negative growth in houses over the last 3 months, units are actually gone up 2 to 3% in the last quarter again. What does this mean? Well, prices haven't really dropped, they've just stagnated, and unit prices obviously going up with affordability, low risk for owners or investors, first home buyers, and also, you know, it's at a price point where you get entry into the market. So talking to buyers, advocates and experts in the field, anything under $1 million tends to have really good traction and people through the opens. 1 to 2 million, it's about moderate, 3 or 4 groups. Anything over 2 million onwards at the moment is probably struggling with numbers through their opens. According to realestate.com, we're down about 20% on numbers on our buyers pools. That's mainly investors probably leaving the market, where 80% of the purchases now are owner occupiers. So it's telling our sellers that, you know, there's probably not as many buyers out there, but there's active buyers still there, and probably more qualified buyers. And the reason why I say that, if you look at the boom in Western Australia and Queensland, they're all buying a hype, you know, people leaving the market, investors. In here in Melbourne, they're buying on need. So that would make it more qualified buyers that we're getting through. At 80% owner-occupier buyers against 20% investors, there's probably your stat there. Also, longer days on market for our sellers. That just means that we're probably this time last year averaging 35 to 43 days on market. So between a sellers and balanced market, we're more in a balanced market now where equal supply and equal amount of demand puts it around 60 to 90 days in some cases. So what does this mean for our buyers also? This also means it's a fantastic time to buy. And you may ask why? Limited competition. We've got not a flood of buyers or people walking through opens. It's a great opportunity, especially under $1 million. If you're thinking long-term strategy, think about the market in Melbourne over the next 4 or 5 years. What stagnates must come back up again. So that's where you're buying. You're not buying in a hype market. You're buying in a flatter market, which is the ideal time to buy. And finally, things to consider to put in place going forward for your future plans, given all this new information and what's been changing in the market. Number one, I'd be outsourcing an accountant. If you haven't got one already, get an accountant. Ask about the change and how that will benefit you and how you can work that around to your benefit with all the changes coming on next year with the tax reforms. Number two, get hold of your broker. There may be some squeeze in there to help out with investment properties or even buying owner-occupiers. We're also getting a lot of investors at the moment selling that are consolidating up to owner-occupiers, and that's done through refinancing. So contact this man that you'll see on the screen here. He can help you out with all your financing. And lastly, what's going to be more important going forward for the grandfathering of the new tax reforms is going to be appraisals and valuations. Knowing exactly where you sit with your equity and what choices you've got in terms of your either investment properties or your owner-occupier property, what they're worth, can help you make decisions going forward in terms of your net equity gain also. So there's the end of the Marden Realty market wrap. Hopefully it hasn't taken too long, but contact me anytime to discuss or any real estate needs or advice. Look forward to chatting to you soon.